What is the purpose and impact of public monuments? Public monuments hold significance because they educate us on historical figures and what they've done in the past that deserves to be remembered. This can range from a heroic act to something more immoral. Furthermore, this is one of the perpetrators of the controversies that surround the topic of monuments. For centuries, historical monuments have been destroyed, vandalized, and pulled. This is usually done as a form of protest. The monument I'll be presenting is going to be a more previous example, and that being the Robert E. Lee Monument in Richmond, Virginia. It was removed on September 8, 2021. Constructed in France and shipped to Virginia, the statue honored Confederate General Robert E. Lee. The monument was the first installation on Monument Avenue in 1890 and the last Confederate monument to be removed from the site. As for the history of the monument, throughout the Civil War, the general was viewed as a war hero by Southerners. So after his death in 1870, organizations were formed to establish a monument to honor his memory. These organizations were later able to form the Lee Monument Commission in 1886. Led by his nephew Fitzhugh Lee and governor of Virginia at the time, he was able to combine the funds to $52,000 US. In 2020, during the Black Lives Matter movement, the statue was vandalized and called for removal. In response, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam announced that the statue was to be removed on June 4, 2020. Despite his initial attempts, however, he was unsuccessful. And until September 2021, the Supreme Court of Virginia ruled unanimously in the two separate cases affirming the power of Governor Ralph Northam to order the statue removed from state-owned property. Following the ruling of the state Supreme Court, however, the Commonwealth of Virginia approved the removal and the statue was taken down on September 8, 2021 and sent to storage. So in my informed and reasoned opinion, I think it's great that it was removed and that it should not be restored to public display. The intent of the statue itself is offensive, and I think that keeping it would block any sort of progression towards a more just ideology. Because even if you didn't know any of this, one look at the monument tells you it's a problem, and one that no extenuating information can make right. Sure, having something like the statue in question be public and out there can help educate individuals on America's past with white supremacist ideology, and Robert E. Lee did not want a statue of himself, as I believe there was a bit of complexity of how he felt towards the reunification of the South, and how he did not want to be remembered as a Confederate leader. But keeping a statue of and its existence itself is based on that ideology is pretty much a way to show that this ideology is still valued and there are still people who think it's just. So if you want to open the window to individuals so that they can be educated on American Civil War and Confederate ideology, I don't think this is the best way. There are cultural centers, there are communities, because even nowadays, museums are still a controversial topic with how they represent. But in conclusion, I think that the history behind it should be taught, but not like this. I would even say that it's better off if the statue was destroyed.